Om Shanti. Good morning, Diamond Morning. Baba is giving us so much power and effect of the bodiless stage today. And want us to be able to really practice it, to experience it. It brings stability to the soul. He gives us the benefit of experiencing the strength. The battery becomes full. And so it's important that we go into the stage and keep the stage, hold the stage. So let's listen to Baba's sweet versions of the 13th of February 2024. In the essence, Baba says, sweet children, become bodiless and remember the Father. Remain stable in your original religion and you will receive strength. You will remain happy and healthy, and your battery will continue to become full. Question: by knowing what it is that is fixed in the drama, how do you children remain constantly unshakable? Excuse. Answer: you know that the bombs, etc., that have been made will definitely be used. Only when destruction takes place will our new world come. This is eternally fixed in the drama. Everyone has to die. You have the happiness that you will shed your old bodies and take birth in a kingdom. You watch the drama as detached observers. There is no question of fluctuating. There is no need to cry. Om Shanti. The Father sits here and asks you, children, why was the original eternal deity religion called the Hindu religion? You should find the answer to that. At first, there was just the original eternal deity religion. Then when they became vicious, they could no longer call themselves deities. So instead of calling themselves deities of the original eternal religion, they started to call themselves the original eternal Hindus. They still kept the words original and eternal. They just changed the name deities and called themselves Hindus. At the time when those of Islam came from outside, they used the name of the Hindu religion. At first, there wasn't even the name Hindustan. So you should understand it as the original, eternal Hindu deity religion. Generally, they are righteous souls. Not all of them are the eternal religion. Not all of them are of the eternal religion. Those who come later would not be said to belong to the original and eternal religion. Amongst Hindus too, there must be some who come later. You should tell the original eternal Hindu that theirs was the original eternal deity religion. Say, you are the original eternal Hindus, that theirs was the original eternal deity religion. So Baba is saying what to say. You should tell them, you should say, you were the original eternal Satopradhan beings. And then whilst taking 84 births, and then whilst taking rebirth, you became Tamopradhan. You now have to become Satopradhan once again by having the pilgrimage of remembrance. They will like this medicine. Baba is the surgeon. You should give this medicine to those who like it. You should remind those who belonged to the original eternal deity religion of this, just as you children have now been reminded. Baba has explained how you have become Tamopradhan from Satopradhan. You now have to become Satopradhan from Tamopradhan. You children are becoming Satopradhan through the pilgrimage of remembrance. Those who are the original eternal Hindus will become the real deities. And they will also become those who worship the deities. In that too, those who are devotees of Shiva, Lakshmi and Narayan, Radhe and Krishna, and Rama and Sita are devotees of the deities and belong to the deity clan. You have now remembered that those who were the Sun dynasty then became the Moon dynasty. Therefore, you should find those devotees. You should ask those who come here to understand to fill in a form. There should definitely be forms at the main centers for people to fill in. You would give a lesson from the beginning to whoever comes. Because they don't know the Father, the first and main thing to explain to them is, you don't know your senior father. Originally, you belong to the Father from beyond. You came here and now belong to a worldly father. You have forgotten your Father from beyond. The unlimited Father is the creator of heaven. None of these innumerable religions exist there. So everything should depend on the forms they fill in. Although some children explain very well, they don't have any yoga at all. They don't become bodiless to remember the Father. They are unable to stay in remembrance. Although they know that they explain very well, and that they even open museums, etc., they still have very little remembrance. It requires effort to consider yourself to be a soul and continue to remember the Father. The Father gives you a warning. And what is the warning? Do not think that you can convince others very well. What is the benefit of that? Okay. So what if they have become spinners of the discus of self-realization? Here, you have to become bodiless. Whilst performing actions, consider yourselves to be souls. It is souls that carry out all tasks through their bodies. Those who don't know how to remember this, or don't even know how to think about these things, are called Buddhas. Buddhas are fools. You are unable to remember the Father. You don't have the strength to do service. How can a soul receive strength without having remembrance? how can his battery become full? Instead of moving along, that soul will come to a halt. He will have no power. It is said, religion is might. Only when a soul remains stable in his original religion can he receive strength. There are many who don't know how to remember the Father. You can tell this from their faces. They would remember everyone else, but would be unable to remember. They would be unable to have remembrance of the Father. Only by having yoga will you receive strength. Only by having remembrance will you have a lot of happiness and health. Then in your next birth, you will receive shining new bodies. When you souls become pure, you will receive pure bodies. It is said, this gold is 24 karat, and so the jewelry made from it is also 24 karat. At this time, all are 9 karat gold. Those who are Satopradhan are said to be 24 karat gold, and those who are Sato are 22 karat gold. These things have to be understood very well. The Father explains to you. What he explains? First of all, you have to ask them to fill in a form so that you can tell to what extent they respond to you and how much they have imbibed. Even then, it comes to do they stay on the pilgrimage of remembrance? Only by having the pilgrimage of remembrance do you become Satopradhan from Tamopradhan. Those are physical pilgrimage of devotion, whereas this pilgrimage is spiritual. Here, it is souls that go on pilgrimage, whereas in other pilgrimages, both the spirit and the body go on pilgrimage. By remembering the purifier Father, you souls receive that sparkle. If a student has to be shown and be impressed, Baba sometimes enters someone. Both the mother and father help, sometimes in knowledge and sometimes in yoga. The Father is always bodiless. He has no awareness of the body. So the Father can help you with the strength of both knowledge and yoga. If you have no yoga, how can you receive that strength? It can be understood whether someone is yogi or jnani. Baba explains new things day by day about yoga. Previously, he didn't explain this. Consider yourselves to be souls and remember the Father. Baba now uplifts you so powerfully that the relationship of brother and sister is removed, and that there is just the vision of brotherhood. We souls are brothers. This is very elevated vision. This effort has to continue till the end. When you become Satopradhan, you will shed your bodies. Therefore, increase your efforts as much as possible. This is even easier for old people. We now definitely have to return home. Young ones would never have such thoughts. Old people are in the stage of retirement. It is understood that you now have to return home. So you have to understand all of these aspects of knowledge. The tree continues to grow. As it grows, the whole tree becomes ready. thorns are changed, and a small new tree of flowers has to be created. It will become new and then become old again. At first, the tree is small, and it then continues to grow. It grows until the end when it has thorns. At first, there are flowers. The very name is heaven. Then later, the fragrance and the strength no longer remain. There is no fragrance in thorns. Ordinary flowers don't have that much fragrance. The Father is the master of the garden and also the boatman. He takes everyone's boat across. The children who are wise and sensible are able to understand how he takes the boat across and where he takes you. Those who don't understand don't even make effort. It is number wise. Some aeroplanes travel faster than sound. No one even knows how a soul flies. A soul flies even faster than a rocket. There is nothing as fast as a soul. They put such fuel in those rockets that they are able to fly fast. They have prepared so many armaments for destruction. They even carry bombs on the steamers and aeroplanes. At this time, they have made all the preparations in advance. They write in the newspapers. What they write in the newspapers? We cannot say that we will not use those bombs. They continue to say that it is possible that they will use those bombs. All of these preparations are being made. Destruction definitely has to take place. It is impossible for the bombs not to be used and for destruction not to take place. A new world is definitely needed for you. This is fixed in the drama. This is why you should have a lot of happiness. It is said, death to the prey and happiness for the hunter. According to the drama, everyone has to die. Because you children have the knowledge of the drama, you do not fluctuate, but observe everything as detached observers. There is no need to cry. Everyone has to shed their body at their own time. You souls know that you will take your next birth in a kingdom. I will become a prince. The soul knows this and therefore sheds a body and takes another. Even a snake has a soul. It would say, I am shedding one skin and taking another. At some time, even that will shed its body and become a baby snake again. Children do take birth. Everyone has to take rebirth. All of these things have to be changed. The main thing is to remember the Father with a lot of love. Just as children cling to their mother and father, in the same way, you souls also have to cling firmly to the Father with your intellect's yoga. Each of you has to check yourself to see to what extent you are imbibing knowledge. There is the example of Narad. Devotees cannot become deities until they take this knowledge. It is not a question of marrying Lakshmi. It is a question of understanding. You children know that when you were Satopradhan, you ruled over the world. You now have to remember the Father in order to become Satopradhan again. You have been making effort every cycle to have real yoga in order to accumulate real power. Each one of you can understand to what extent you are able to explain to others and to what extent you are emerging out of body consciousness. I, the soul, leave one body and take another. I, the soul, work through this body. These are my organs. We are all actors playing our part. This is a huge play in this unlimited drama. All the actors in this drama are number-wise. We can understand who the main actors are in this, who the first, second, and third grades are. You children have come to know the beginning, the middle, and the end of the drama from the Father. You receive this knowledge of creation from the Creator. The Creator comes and explains the secrets of himself and his creation. This is his chariot that he has entered. You would therefore say that there are two souls in this one. It is a common thing to invoke a departed soul and offer that soul food when he comes. Previously, many used to come in this way and be asked questions. Excuse. They have now become they have now become Tamopradhan. Even now, some are able to tell who they were in their previous birth. No one is able to tell you about the future. They can only tell you about the past. Not everyone can be trusted in this. Baba says, sweet children, you now have to remain in silence. When you become strong in knowledge and yoga, you will become firm and solid. At the moment, many of you children are innocent. The deities who were the residents of Bharat were very solid. They were overflowing with wealth. Now they are empty. They were solvent, whereas you have become insolvent. Solvent is pure, insolvent is impure. Back to the Murli, you know that Bharat used to be. You know what Bharat used to be and what it has now become. People will die of starvation because there will be no grain, water, or anything. Some places will continue to be flooded, and other places will not have a drop of water. At this time, there are clouds of sorrow. In the golden age, there will be clouds of happiness. Only you children understand this play. No one else knows this. It is very good to explain using the badge. This says one is limited, physical father, whereas that one is the unlimited father from beyond. Only once at this confluence age does the Father give you the unlimited inheritance and create the new world. This world is iron aged, and it will definitely become golden aged. You are now at the confluence. If your heart is clean, your desires are fulfilled. Ask yourself every day, did I do anything bad? Did I have any vicious thoughts inside me about anyone? Did I remain in the intoxication of knowing who I am? Or did I waste my time in gossiping? The Father's order is, remember me alone. If you do not have remembrance, you are disobeying the Father. Acha, okay. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found, children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says, Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say, Namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for Dharana points to practice for today. First point, stay in the intoxication of knowledge and yoga. And keep your heart clean. Do not waste your time in waste thoughts or in gossiping. The second point, we are brothers. We now have to return home. Practice this firmly. Become bodiless. Stabilize yourself in your original religion and remember the Father. Baba's blessing for today. May you be filled with divinity and develop the power of truth by recognizing your own true form and that of the Father. Baba explains the blessing. The children who recognize their own form and accurately know the true intoxication of the Father can develop the power of truth by being aware of that form. Every thought of theirs is then constantly filled with truth and divinity. There is the experience of divinity in their every thought, word, act, relationship, and connection. There is no need to prove the truth. When there is the power of truth, the soul continues to dance in happiness. And the slogan for today, do the service of giving Sakash, and any problem will easily run away. Om Shanti. The Avyak signal for today, 13th of February, the theme for the month, inculcate the virtue of sweetness and love in your life, and all other virtues will come easily. And the theme for today is cooperative companions with one another. When you say, Waha, sweet Baba, your mouth is sweetened because you experience attainment. In the same way, when any Brahmin soul mentions the name of any Brahmin, he should become happy, because with the specialty that each of you have attained from the Father, you're cooperative companions with one another and progress in this way. All souls with the specialty you have received share happiness with one another, and you will consider and you will continue to do so in the future. So very interesting to be cooperative companions with one another. So only then we can really get Baba's service to be done. And at the same time, we can attain our fortune. Okay, so do have a powerful day in Baba's sweet remembrance.